what up? What up? It's Mike and EJ Sportscast. And man, to say the least, the Bears pulled off an amazing move. But without further ado, I'm gonna let my man EJ take the lead here, though.
Yeah, they pulled off what we didn't think was gonna happen for one, and two, I'm just like, I'm happy, I'm shocked, I'm like, I got all types of different emotions about it. But we talked about the possibility of them getting the quarterback. We honestly thought, hey, they gonna go offensive line 100%. Because that's honestly a weakness that they have, which they addressed, and we'll get to that later. But them moving up to get a quarterback because Justin Fields started to slide for whatever reason. It's different reasons that I heard, but it was enough that like had me like completely worried. But he started to slide. I'm thinking, me and Michael had texted during the draft. I'm thinking, okay, this team might take him. This team might take him. This team might take a quarterback. This team might take a quarterback. None of the teams that we saw or that were above the Bears ended up taking a quarterback. Then it gets to close to the Giants pick. They decide, hey, let's make a trade with the Bears. Let's move back. And I think the reason why is because the guy that the Giants wanted was taken by the Eagles. The Eagles took a wide receiver. I think it was Devontae Smith. They got him.
Oh, yeah. They did. You're right.
Yeah, they were gonna. I think the Giants were gonna take him when the Eagles moved up in front of the Cowboys to take him, which was weird because the teams trading within the same division. The Giants was like, well, our guy's not here that we originally wanted. We can go to. I guess they said we can go to our backup plan. So I guess the Bears made a phone call. Giants accepted it. Said, hey, y'all want to move up? We got y'all. So they moved up to the Giants spot. Giants moved back to the Bears spot. Giants ended up getting their guy who ended up being Kadarius Toney, which I guess was their backup plan if they couldn't get Devontae Smith. Bears, we're trying to figure out, okay, they moved up. Obviously, they're going to take a quarterback. You're not moving up to pick up offensive lineman. Because I think at that point was Rashawn Slater. Now, he went afterwards, right?
Rashawn Slater went after, yep.
Yeah, I think he went afterwards to the Chargers. And the Bears, they were like in position, like, okay, they moved up. They definitely got to go be getting a quarterback. So we're just trying to figure out, okay, are they getting Justin Fields or are they going to get Mac Jones? I'm thinking, I was worried they were, because we talked about it last week. No, don't get Mac Jones. We've already dealt with more quarterbacks behind that offensive line that didn't go too well. You see that the team played better with Mitch Trubisky as the quarterback. Whether we want to admit that or not, because he's more mobile, even though like he kind of cut down the field, he couldn't do as much with Coach Nagy, but the team did better with Mitch as the quarterback. So I'm thinking there's no way in the world they're gonna pick Mac Jones. It just doesn't make sense. I think one of the guys on the broadcast like, oh, they should pick Mac Jones. They went with the mobile quarterback before with Trubisky, and you see how that ended up. I'm like, yeah, but Mitchell Trubisky just wasn't that good. That's part of the reason why that didn't work. It had nothing to do with just what the Bears did. So they ended up picking, obviously, Justin Fields, and I'm like immediately just blown. Everybody in Chicago flipped out. That's a Bears fan, like flipped out because it's like we actually got a franchise quarterback. When was the last time we could say that? They've drafted quarterbacks that we've never thought, oh, that's a franchise quarterback. We've had quarterbacks. Oh, that's a franchise quarterback. We never really thought like, okay, we've always had like trepidations, like, could he be? Maybe like with Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler had a situation in Denver, came to Chicago. They were like, okay, Jay Cutler's pretty decent. Dude has a strong arm. But we were like a little cautiously optimistic about it, obviously, because of, past quarterbacks. Like, we'll get that list one of these days of all the quarterbacks that they've had in our generation of watching football. But it's like every time we've had a quarterback, it's just like, well, is he the guy? honestly, we feel like now this dude could be the guy. So, honestly, I'm excited about it. You know, we'll see. We got highlights, and I got like a small clip of an interview that he did. But besides that, you know, it's looking up in Chicago for the first time in a long time.
I agree. I agree. And just to piggyback of something you said that we've never had like a quarterback where we're all like as Bears fans unanimously like, oh yeah, this could be possibly our franchise quarterback. It usually hasn't been this unanimous. Jay Cutler, like
Yep.
you said, not everybody was convinced. Um, Most recently, Mitchell Trubisky, when we drafted him, not everybody was clapping during that draft.
No.
On the Bears side, with the fans that were there and the fans at home, like I got a lot of mixed signals from different Bears fans that I would ask, and obviously we saw how he turned out. Um, so yeah, long story short, the fact that we kind of all agree on Justin Fields, and I mean, it's not only agreeing. Like I'm looking up some of his stats right now. Like the guy rated, let's see here, they gave him a 3.9 GPA. Like, and this is for, let's see here. Okay, I'm not gonna. It's a lot of different stuff, so I'm not gonna break it all down. Um, but ultimately, like he was graded the best um quarterback as far as his like mental aptitude. I guess like they gave him like a test mentally, and he was able to like answer almost all the questions. I know not Nagy. Nagy specifically, I believe, gave him a play, and then like after he drafted him, he had him like, hey, he asked him like, hey, do you remember that play that I told you about? And Fields was able to tell him word for word what the play was. So like the
Good.
guy's clearly intellectual, like at least intellectual in the football terms, where he can read some defenses. He can potentially, carry this team to the next level just on his talent alone, just being able to read the defenses. Because we've never had guys that can read defenses. Not really.
No.
Definitely Mitch couldn't do it. I don't believe Jay Cutler was able to do it. I mean, he
No.
would throw the dumbest interceptions and he will force a lot of balls.
Yeah.
I would say who I think maybe was able to do it the best was probably Kyle Orton, but we know how that turned out. We never gave him his full shot. I still feel like we would have won a Super Bowl if you would have started him over Grossman, but we'll never know. Like, as the legend goes, we started Grossman, started off hot, and then turned into Grossman in the second half. So,
Yeah.
but ultimately, I'm just excited about this pick, man. It's a tremendous pick, and I really hope it pans out for us.
Yeah. I mean, I hope so too. Like I said, I'm excited. I mean, I'm just on my phone early and just watching like highlights of like football, not even the Bears, just football in general. It's like, man, I can't wait till football season starts just to watch football. But I'm looking forward to it. Now, me and you talked about this outside of the show, and we talked about whether he should start or not. You were like, nah, don't start him next year. Just let him develop. And I'm thinking, you know, with the fan base, this because it's a big market and stuff, he'll probably end up coming in at some point this season just because he's in Chicago. Who knows how good? Unless Andy Dalton kills it this year, which I'll be shocked if he does. I hope he proves me wrong as a Bears fan, but it's like, really, what are the chances of him like really killing it this year, making it? Because we got a rough schedule. There's no joke, but you
Facts.
know, unless Andy Dalton kills it this year, honestly, I do feel like at some point he'll come in this year and like finish off because I feel like we're gonna have some struggles just based on the fact that we got a new defense coordinator. So let's see how the defense gels with under the new guy. Even though I feel like he's been taught under the previous guy, so I'm pretty sure his terminologies and his schemes will be similar to what they already know. So maybe it won't be that much of a adjustment period. We'll see. So maybe the defense takes a step forward this year versus what they did last year. I don't know. That's definitely going to be a strength for us this year because who knows what we're going to be like on offense. Um, But if we do struggle, I do see Justin Fields getting a shot this year. We'll see. But I'm looking forward to this year in general. See how everything goes, and maybe we'll get. We're gonna get a preseason this year, so we'll definitely get a chance to get a look at him. But other than that, will he play? That's up in the air. Who knows? I think there's a good chance he will. I've heard some guys say, yeah, just start him. Like, don't even put Andy Dalton in. Just start Justin Fields from the jump. And I don't agree with that at all. But,
Nah.
We'll see how it goes.
I agree with you. And quick thing, I just wanted to bring this back up. I guess we had a fan come in and out and drop this little knowledge. I looked this guy up that he posted here, Creed Humphrey. I guess he's just center. He ended up going to the Kansas City Chiefs. Apparently he's really good, so that's probably why he's asking the question as to why he fell that far. I mean, obviously teams have different needs. That's why people like Devontae Smith were going in the first 9 picks. So to answer your question, that's why he fell that low. When you come back to the stream and hear us. But just go back to what you were saying, EJ. I agree. Don't start him just because we've posted our schedule here numerous times.
Yep.
It's like I don't know who made the schedule, but they were looking at the Bears like, all right, we don't want y'all to win any games next year. But we'll see what happens. Like, obviously, if Andy Dalton balls out, that's the best case scenario for us.
Yep.
He's had flashes, obviously, that during the regular season he can be really good during the regular season. We've seen his postseason stats, so obviously, I don't think he's gonna ignite any fires in the postseason.
Right.
I just hope for some enjoyable football this year. If we get to see Justin Fields play, okay. If we don't get to see him play, even better. Because I'm kind of already looking to the future so much that I'm more looking forward to 2022 because I know for sure at least Justin Fields will start, and then we're gonna have extra pieces around him, not just whatever we've put so far. Right. People like Darnell Mooney hopefully are gonna be taking steps forward, which I have no doubt about Darnell Mooney. Like, we've covered him so many times. Darnell Mooney is a professional's professional. The guy has a jug machine in his house, catching balls all day. So, I know he's going to take the next step. They're saying he's going to be a receiver too. He more than deserves it this upcoming season. So we're getting pieces around him. We got some more of the draft picks from this year that we got. So ultimately, I'm excited for next year is what I'm trying to say, and letting Fields just relax for the whole year. Give him the Mahomes treatment where he gets to sit out, until the coach says, okay, you're ready.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think he should. Oh, no, that's what I was just going to say. I think he should just, I totally agree with giving him the Mahomes treatment. Like, just let him sit until the coach feels like, okay, he's ready. Whether that be this coach or whoever's next, but, I think
I got
but yeah.
Whether his coach or the next, I like that.
Yeah.
That's actually a good question you just brought up. And that kind of made me think of a banner we're gonna add. Oh, dang, yes, you added a bunch of banners. Now, with what you said, do you think that McCaskey do you think that George McCaskey is happy enough with what he saw at the draft? Obviously, we moved up to get Fields, and then we also moved up to get Tevin Jenkins, which is a beast of a lineman that should have gone in the first round so easily.
Yep.
So the fact that we moved up to get him, I'm not too mad about that at all. And we actually didn't give away too much for a sure starter. I don't think, it's hard to find a sure starter. Usually on the offensive line, you can find a couple tough guys that will be solid for you. And we know he's tough. The guy's good. So my question ultimately is, do we honestly think that they've saved their jobs not only for this year, but at least for the next upcoming year with what they did in the draft?
Man, that is a very good question. I'm going to say it's based on this. If this season plays out good, if whatever reason Justin Fields gets to play, obviously if Tevin Jenkins looks good on the offensive line, I think they may have saved their jobs based on that. Now, if our season is terrible, if we look worse than what we did last year, we have a mediocre season. Remember, we got an extra game this year. We have another mediocre season, and there's a lot of games where we look absolutely terrible, like one of the worst teams in the league. I think it's a wrap for both of them. Definitely Nagy, for sure. Pace, I don't know. I feel like this draft kind of helped him, made a case for him. But like I said, it's all depending on how these guys that he drafted look, like especially the top two guys, Fields and Jenkins. Now, if for some reason, Justin Fields comes in, he's not looking that great, he's not looking good under Nagy's system, Nagy's definitely going to be going. The offense, if we have another low-tier offense, Nagy's definitely out of here. Nagy cannot afford to – our offense cannot afford to look bad this year as Nagy as the coach. Unless we have a winning season and we have let's say a lower 15 offense, or a lower 16, I'm sorry, because it's 32 teams. A lower 16 offense, then okay, maybe he'll keep his job. But if we're bad and our offense is in the bottom 16, he's gone. And as far as Pace, I don't know. I honestly feel like he may have saved his job. It's like a coin flip, honestly. It depends on how the season goes.
Right, and we know that he's good at drafting in the later rounds. And according to some experts that I've been reading about, which one was the running back? I believe Khalil Herbert was the running back that we picked up. Yeah, the dude's pretty good. Like they're wondering why he even fell that low. Like he's a playmaker. It's kind of weird to go after a running back after Tariq went down. But again, it's not weird because Tariq went down. So we don't know how that injury is going to hold up because ACLs are hard to come back from. And I believe that's what he got injured with. Yeah. But we'll see, man. The season is full of excitement. I kind of want to go into some of these videos you got with some of our draftees here. So I'll let you go ahead and decide who you want to play and –
so I guess let's start from the bottom and then work our way up. So that's our last pick was Khyiris Tonga.
Okay.
So defensive tackle out of Brigham Young. Let me see. I'm gonna look up some stuff for him. So I'm on NFL.com right now. His draft grade was a 5.94. So let's see. Where did they rank him as? So a 5.94 would put him as a backup. So we'll see how he does. But the kid, he's a tackle, big dude. He'd be probably good for stopping the run, clogging up some lanes. Let me see if I can find his highlights. Because I got a lot of highlights down here. That's not him. Oh, you know what? I think I may have taken his highlights off of here because I had to get somebody else's in here. Okay. Let me see. If I can find them, let me see. Let me go over here. I'm going to remove this one, and I'll bring it back. And I'll put up his highlights. So let me remove that. Oh, here we go.
Met right away. Trying to spin out, but can't. Sean McGrew getting his first carry. Khyiris Tonga all over him.
Another player really forced that ball. His career line is 56 yards at the hole. Mitch Wishnowsky, and that got blocked. BYU with a hand on. Was it one of the guys that's almost 7 feet tall?
Dang, he's almost 7 feet tall. Easy. Not bad. Yeah, definitely looks like backup material. But he could definitely in passing situations, like when you know for sure they're going to be passing, since he's so damn tall, he definitely be in my rotation in third and longs.
Third and longs, and then he looks like he'd be good at like clogging up some running lanes too, because he's such a big dude. Let me see what his height and weight is, because he looks pretty wide.
Almost 7 foot. He got to be like 6'7", 6'8" at least.
Oh no, they got him listed as he's not as big as I thought. He's only 6'2", 6'2", 325. So he's
Damn. I wonder why they said almost 7 foot. Maybe he just plays like like an almost 7 footer.
yeah, because this dude. Oh, let me see. I got his stats. I'm gonna pull up his stats too. But while he was at BYU, he plays a 4-year. He played for 4 years at BYU. So his career, he's got 68 solo tackles, 62 assisted, 130 total, 16 tackles for loss, and 8.5 sacks. So it's decent for
not bad.
a tackle. Nothing spectacular, nothing that's gonna like blow you away. The most sacks he had was his last year, which was 3.5. So it's like it's nothing that's gonna blow you away. He could be a solid backup for us, Besides that, who knows? Like we'll probably see him in situations like on the goal line, trying to stuff the run or something like that, where they need an extra defensive lineman, to clog the lane or something. But besides that, we'll see how he does. If he ascends, into a starting position or whatever. You never know with these guys. Hopefully
That's
he's got
true.
a good motor. Hopefully he can get on the field.
I agree. I mean, yeah, and sometimes these guys get to the NFL and they're able to find another gear they didn't even know they had. So sometimes your assets, like what you're good at, is more suitable for the NFL than it is for NCAA or whatever. Because NCAA might be all speed, but in the NFL, you can take some guys that are not that fast that know what to do and things of that nature.
Right.
So hopefully he ends up being a decent piece for us. Let's move on to the next guy. I believe it's a cornerback we picked up. I believe.
Yeah. So Thomas Graham Jr., which I didn't realize we were going to draft the corner, which I felt like that wouldn't be a bad position to draft. Let me see if I can find his highlights. Here we go.
Johnson, the new running back. Two-man route. Down the field goes Garrison, and he's picked off. Thomas Graham picked him off. Third career.
Oh, well, Shine, if Shine is supposed to play 20 unanswered points. Rollout and a throw into traffic, and it's intercepted. Thomas Graham with the pickoff and the.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I'll do like a lot of things I saw from him. He's always around the ball. I'll give you that.
Yeah, it looks like he got some pretty good hands, which is corners normally don't have. But that's a highlight package. That's not a low light package.
Yeah, that's true. That's
so
true.
It's like they only gonna be showing what he did best. But in saying that though, like you said, he did look pretty good. Let me look up his stats because I got those too. I didn't get them on the in the stream. Let me see if I can find them. Thomas Graham. Here we go. So I guess he didn't play in 2020. Maybe he sat out, but he had 8 career interceptions. Actually only had that one sack that we saw was his only sack he had his college career. He had 10.5 tackles for loss, 183 total tackles. So he's, let me see, pass defended. Okay, so he's really good at defending passes. I'm assuming that's what this stands for, PD. So he had 18 pass defenses in 2018 and 10 in 2019. So 32 total. So he's good at it, like, I guess, breaking up passes. So that means he's obviously around the ball a lot. So that's good.
Which is good. It means that he can run he can read a receiver's route.
Right. So, we'll see. He might end up being, I mean, we got some guys that's in front of him that did pretty good last year.
We got some guys that we can give another try. I don't know who I like better, though. I don't know if I like Vildor or I think it was also Duke Shelley that was trying to fill in last year. So I'm not sure who I like more, though. They both had their moments, and they both had moments where they were, like, getting burned.
Yeah.
So hopefully, they went into the offseason like, okay, let me fix my weaknesses, and hopefully they come in a little bit better next year.
Yeah, hopefully.
Coming year. But yeah, I like what I saw at the time. Let's move on to Daz. Let's see what Daz got for us over here. I know he's blazing fast.
Yeah, he's from UNC. All right, I'm about to pull up his now. Oh, the cash.
That was a great route.
Yeah, it was. Oh, yeah.
Kind of reminds me of Mooney. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. What's this kid's height?
He's 5'11".
5'11"? Yep, sure is. You got it.
Which 5'11" to me is not that short. You're like 1 inch from 6 foot. That's
right.
That doesn't make a big difference to me.
Right.
It's when it's like when a receiver be like 5'9". Like that's when you fucking notice that difference.
Yeah. Okay, he looked pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, Daz definitely looks pretty good, bro. Like I said, it shows Mooney flashes. A lot of good Mooney flashes.
I mean, I could honestly see him getting in at some point, catching some passes. Anthony Miller be on some other stuff, so it's like because he'll come in as our third receiver from time to time, and who knows what he'll be on this year. So Daz might get some PT, man.
He should know that his time, like he saw last year, they didn't mind taking you out in key situations.
Yeah, exactly.
Now they got even more receivers that they drafted. So actually, if I'm not mistaken, was Nagy here when we drafted Miller?
I think maybe. I think he was.
Because like the main reason they were saying that they drafted him was because he broke all the records for Memphis for the school that he went to. He has like all the wide receiving records there. So they figured like he'd come to the NFL, at least be solid, which he's shown flashes. I mean, like, we had our opening credits shows videos of him getting touchdown catches. Like in one game, like what game winning ones. So it's like the dude has flashes. He's just gotta play harder, man. That's all it is. He doesn't play hard enough.
Yeah, he needs to play harder, and he also needs to like stay consistent. His problem also is like consistency. 1 minute he'll show make like a great catch, next thing you know, it's like he'll do something dumb, and also
Right.
like stay mentally into the game, like not making stupid mental mistakes and stuff. Like, you know, him in that corner from the Saints, you know, going at it and stuff like that was stupid. That's how he got thrown out in that playoff game. So you can't make mental mistakes like that. You got to stay within the game. So it's like stuff like that. So it's like we'll see. You know, he has talent, that's for sure. You like you said, he's shown flashes, but it's like, you know, we need the consistency. You ain't shown it yet.
Exactly. And a guy like that, like, I'm sorry, but like the dumbass shit that you did on during that Saints game, that it could have cost us. We don't really know because we were losing anyway. But
Right.
it's just the fact that they probably told you, like, hey, we know we had that incident a couple of weeks ago. Let's be mature. It's the playoffs. We don't, and, you know, the first thing he did, the first thing he did when he got on the field with Coleman was do what he did. So, yeah, you're not playing for me. Not often. Somebody's got to be tired or injured for you to come in, pretty much, until you show that you deserve to be out there. I can't trust you.
Yeah. Exactly. So it's like you can't. Like, I can't rely on somebody that can't keep their cool, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably right. They probably did have a conversation like, hey, you know, I know what happened last time we played the Saints. You know, let's, like, you know, not have another incident like that. Then he gets thrown out the game. It's like, come on, man. This is a playoff game. You know, we didn't have much of a chance going in. We all knew it was like we get lucky if we could win it. But it's like the Bears were a team last year. They couldn't afford no mistakes. Any type of mistake, especially on offense. You get a 15-yard penalty. When they got a 15-yard penalty, it's like the drive is pretty much done. They're not going to get a first down. So it's like they couldn't afford stupid errors like that. He made one. So it's like, but, you know, I don't want to talk too much about Anthony Miller. Right. We don't got into a rant about him, but, like, you know, Dez was pretty good.
Definitely looks pretty good. Let's move on to Khalil Herbert.
All right.
See what my man's got over here. With a name like Khalil, you better come put in work.
Yeah, for real. Let's see. Here we go. Oh, wait, I got to remove something first. There we go. Man, he hits that hole fast.
Yeah, he did. Damn. Okay.
Not bad, man.
Not bad at all.
Yeah.
Not bad at all. What I like the most is that he's patient at first, and then as soon as he sees the hole, like you said, he just books it through there. Like, he's so fast as soon as he sees that hole. It's not even funny.
Yeah,
he hit acceleration.
Yeah, he hit that one hole. Like, he hit that thing like soon as he saw it, he's like, he was gone. Like, he got some pretty good speed. I'm not gonna lie.
He does. And he's pretty like physical too. He's not like a little skinny guy.
Right, and he's like pretty shifty too. Like you see all them cuts he was making, and he makes them like real subtle. He's like not like over exaggerating his movements or anything. It's kind of like real precise and quick. So I like that. I like that. Let's look up his stats real quick. So obviously that was at Virginia Tech. So he played 11 games, had 155 attempts, 1,183 yards. He averaged 7.6 yards a carry. Good Lord. Well, it's college. College guys usually average a lot, but 8 touchdowns.
Down every time he got the ball.
Yeah, like legit. He had 8 touchdowns, 10 catches for 179 yards. That's a pretty good average. Dang. Yeah, wow. He had like 1,300 scrimmage yards that year with 9 touchdowns. So yeah, he's a pretty good all-around player. Like, dude had 10 catches for 179 yards. That's pretty solid too.
Yeah, he's solid. That's a good pickup.
Yeah, so he might get some PT as well. You know, we'll see. You know, I know Nagy. You know, when he gets a chance, he likes to shuffle the running backs a little bit. You know, keep them fresh. So
True.
Who knows? We might, but we already got the guy Williams from Kansas City. So who knows how much PT he'll get? But we'll see. Maybe we'll see him on special teams. We'll see.
Yeah, that was another thing I was going to bring up. I like that he was already used to doing a little bit of returning. So, hey, you can get your start there. Keep yourself warm by doing our returns, or because we clearly need a return man too. That was something that we were kind of like going in and out on as far as bringing players in all last year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we even had Anthony Miller doing punt returns at one point.
Yeah, so, like punt returns was a problem for us last year.
Yeah, it got
yeah, especially when what's his name got hurt, Tariq Cohen, because he got injured on the punt return.
Right, and the bogus part is the play was already over when he got injured. It was like the aftermath of the play.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, good pickup with Khalil. Let's move on to Larry.
All right, so let's get Larry up in here. Let me remove this.
One out of the 2 linemen we picked up.
Yes, sir. Getting there. We got after Larry, we got Tevin. Let's see, where's Larry at? Where you at, Larry? Okay, here we go. Pretty solid.
He's pretty solid. I was gonna say he's not too big, so I don't know how I feel about that. But if he can bulk up, put some more weight on, I feel a little bit more. I'd feel a little bit more confident with that pick. But ultimately, like from the plays that I saw, he was moving people. People weren't really moving him. So
yeah.
But like you said, these are highlights, not lowlights. So they're gonna show the best. But from what I see, decent pickup.
Yeah, and like we saw him at tackle there. I feel like he probably end up at some point. I don't see him playing tackle for us. Maybe it'll end up like in a guard position. I heard somebody else saying that too. Like it probably end up as a guard for us rather than tackle. We'll see where they decide to do with him. But he looked pretty solid.
I agree. But let's move on to the real lineman that I wanted to get to. You wanted to get to the real lineman. My man's Tevin.
Oh, yeah.
None of us picked him. Did any of us pick for us to get him? Because I picked Rashawn Slater, and I think you went. Who did you go with? Or did you go with Rashawn Slater too?
I went with Slater, after because we talked about, I think we talked about Tevin Jenkins, and I'm like, I'm gonna pick Tevin Jenkins because you picked Slater, but I say I'd rather pick Slater because he looked the best. But I say I'm only picking Tevin Jenkins because you got Slater already. I think that's
okay. So then you called it. Well, so you was right. We got Tevin.
Yeah, so we ended up getting him. We have to go back and double check that, but yeah. All right, so here's his highlights. I mean, this mug is sitting guarding people down the field.
For real.
Yeah, see, that's a good block right there. The guy who's blocking not even in the picture.
I agree. Good job.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I like that.
Oh, yeah. David Montgomery's going to love him.
Dude's a wall, bro.
Yeah, David Montgomery's going to love him. He looked pretty good.
Yeah,
like
I'm really impressed.
Like, I knew he was pretty beastly, but, like, I didn't think it was like that. Like, that's the first time I've really, like, actually saw those highlights. Like, actually looked at him. So, like, nah, he looks pretty good, man. I'm not gonna lie.
It's probably the reason why, they cut Leno. I mean, it's not going to be official to June 1st because that's how they save the most money. But, yeah, that's essentially why they cut Leno. You save, like 11 million or so? And then you got this beast-ass fucking rookie coming in. That's going to be he's going to be an upgrade from Leno from the minute he gets there.
Oh,
we got to remember, Leno was a 7th-round pick. To be honest, he did better than what any 7th-round pick was projected, when he was picked up. So
yeah, exactly.
We got some solid seasons out of him. We got to give him credit where it's due. It's just he resorted back to that 7th-rounder after he got paid. So it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, he was good for a while, but like you said, he started to look like a 7th-round pick after a while, But, obviously they got rid of him because they're very confident what Tevin Jenkins brings to the table. And, if he plays like he did in college, which is NFL ain't college, but if he stays hungry, and, works hard enough, he can be just as good in the NFL as he was in college. I think it's a good pick, especially because we need an offensive line. Like their first 2 picks, I was very happy with. I'm like, yes, this is exactly what we need. Now, not necessarily in that order. I wasn't expecting it. Expected offensive line first and quarterback second. Because who knows, we probably would have got Kyle Trask or Kellen Mond with our second, well, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
I actually wonder who got those 2 people. I'm going to look it up right now.
Oh, well, Kyle Trask went to the Buccaneers and Kellen Mond went to the Vikings.
Okay. Oh, so we're going to have to see Kellen Mond. Watch him develop. Hey, we wanted. We low-key were okay with having him. We knew he was literally a project. Like, he was going to have to develop.
Yeah.
But he was looking like a good development project, so we'll see. Yeah. We'll see, man. We're gonna have to face him 2 times a year eventually, so we'll see what happens with him.
Yeah, and then Kyle Trask, he gonna be behind Tom Brady, so that's gonna help him a lot.
Facts. And the man of the hour, man. Yes. So the Bears moved down to the 11th pick. Me and EJ were going crazy, obviously, when we saw that it was the Bears that moved down. Now we were thinking, like he said in the beginning of the show, please don't get Mac Jones because we saw Mac Jones highlights. He's not what we need in Chicago.
Yes.
Boom, they pull the trigger, and they go get our man's Justin Fields. Like what? Like I thought I was dreaming for a second.
Yeah, it's like It was shocking because like I knew there was going to be a trade in the draft. I said it like right before our stream ended. There was going to be a trade. I had a feeling there was going to be a trade. I had no idea it was going to be the Bears making that trade. I'm thinking it's going to be some other team making the trade because I knew somebody was going to trade up. I just knew that was going to happen. It just made sense to me. But I didn't think it was going to end up being our team that was going to do that. And it honestly shocked the crap out of me. I was like on ESPN, and I'm looking at all the picks because I was watching. I was excited for the draft in general because I wanted to see who went where. And you know, I was looking at all the picks on ESPN. I'm like, okay, they picked him. And then I looked like, wait a minute, Bears at 11. I'm like, that's a mistake. And I kept looking at him like, I texted you. I'm like, I think the Bears moved up to 11. Then on ESPN, it was like, Bears just traded up with the Giants to move to the 11th spot. I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, we're like, oh, they're obviously getting a quarterback. And that's where we're like, okay, Mac Jones and Justin Fields. It's like, please be Justin Fields. We don't want Mac Jones. We don't. Mac Jones wouldn't fit what we're doing here. He's just a pure pocket passer. Dude's accurate. You know, he reads defense is good and stuff. But, you know, I don't think that will work with what we got going on in Chicago, especially we don't know what the offensive line is going to look like next year.
Right.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was going to say they need time to gel.
Exactly. So it's like we don't know if the offensive line is going to be. It was got to be better than what it was last year. Last year was terrible, and partly it was due to injuries. So it's like,
true.
But it may be better, but still, it could be marginally better, where it's just better to the point where, all right, the quarterback ain't getting hit every time he drops back. He'll get hit probably every other time he just drops back. We don't know that yet. So it's like having a mobile quarterback back there whenever Justin Fields does get in there will help. But, you know, it's exciting in Chicago to actually have a good quarterback, like a quarterback that we're actually excited for, instead of like these guys that's like, oh, well, it's somebody, I guess, you know, not one of them deals where it's like he's another guy. You know, this is actually a pretty big deal for us, which is nice. You know,
I agree, and I don't mind going through the growing pains because there's gonna be games where he's gonna show his flashes of dominance, and there's gonna be games where the defense just makes him look like a rookie. Hopefully, he has the Justin Herbert experience. I believe that's his name, right? Justin Herbert.
Yeah, you got it right.
And just balls out like every game. And obviously, our defense is way better than what the San Diego Chargers defense was. But hopefully, he just comes out balling like that, where it's like they have no answer for him. And they were saying like the key thing as to why Justin Herbert was so good is because coming out of college, his deep ball was really good. Well, Justin Fields' best ball is the deep ball. And in the NFL, the hardest one to hit is the deep ball, but it's also in its own way the easiest one to hit because these guys are blazing fast. So you just got to make sure you hit them on stride.
Yep.
Look off that safety, and you're gonna get some opportunities where he's gonna be open enough for some bombs to go through. And if we finally got a quarterback that can do that, I think he's gonna have success.
Absolutely, and he got some guys he can throw to. A lot of people say, well, he's got some, Justin Fields will have some weapons, and they always talk about Robinson, but Darnell Mooney is pretty good, man. Like, people sleep on him. I'm expecting him to improve even better next year. Andy Dalton, he ain't nobody special, but I feel like he's like, I feel like he'll make some throws or more accurate throws than Mitch did, and Nick Foles as well, because I feel like the offensive line is going to be a little improved this year to get a quarterback more time to throw, and I feel like he'll make some throws.
Just one more second, like.
Yeah, exactly. That's like all we need. Like, so I feel like he'll make some throws that some of the other guys last year couldn't make. But I feel like people sleep on Darnell Mooney because we got some weapons on the offense with obviously Allen Robinson is great, but Darnell Mooney's pretty good. I feel like he's gonna continue to develop. So it's and then when Fields gets his chance, he'll have those guys too. And who knows if he sits out this whole season, like you were talking about, comes in next year with possibly a new regime, who knows? We might get another top pick, and get, even more weapons for him, which would be great.
Exactly.
We might sign somebody. You never know. So, that's something we could be talking about too.
Which I feel like one of the best pickups we did all off season was getting Marquise Goodwin. Like when he's not injured, the dude is productive. Like,
yeah,
so it's like you want a guy out there like him. He's a veteran. He's a speedster. So like I got to give them credit where it's due. They said they had a plan. None of us believed them, but they pulled it off. They literally pulled off whatever plan. I believe wholeheartedly that this was their plan all along, was to move into the top 11, top 10, top 8, or whatever, and get a good quarterback. They didn't care who. They probably wanted Justin Fields. I mean, he's the most decorated one out of them all, I feel like, other than Trevor Lawrence. But Trevor Lawrence lost to Justin Fields in the when they went against each other.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'll take Fields all day, man. Like I'm excited. I honestly think that Trevor Lawrence is going to be a bust, but we'll see. I just never really liked the guy. It is what it is. But to wrap it up, let's go ahead and show off what our man's Justin Fields is talking about here. You want me to go ahead and add this stream real quick?
Yeah, let me add it.
Okay, go ahead, do your thing.
Here we go.
Scholarship now, 2nd down and 8. Dobbins angles out of the backfield, throws it for a touchdown in the tightest of windows. Fields moves it. I said there was going to be the suspense. Who's going to score? The quarterback. Easily moves the chains. Looking to throw again. Out of a tight pocket. He's got a wide open Mac. Touchdown, Ohio State.
Yo, it's funny that we were talking about his deep ball, and literally the first play it showed was him throwing a deep ball.
Yeah.
But you know what I noticed too? Like I've been watching a lot of highlights of him lately. He's really poised, like in the red zone. He's real calm, and he's always seeming to like hit the right receiver. Like it was one of those last scenes where like the receiver was running an out, and then like another receiver was running like some type of slant in or something like that. But long story short, like the ball placement that he had, like if he would have put that anywhere else, that cornerback had a chance to get it. But it's just like his poise. He was like, okay, let me throw this receiver open. And he like you can see the angle where like the camera was showing us like the perfect angle to see the launch angle of that throw. And it was just like, bro, his his anticipation game is disgusting, because that's all anticipation. Like, I'm going to assume that my guy is going to get to that spot, and I'm going to put it on the spot. And he did, bro. Like, I like a lot of things that I see from him.
Yeah, and it's like the kid can throw, and, he's got the good decision making. I mean, like, here's his stats from his last 2 seasons. So, 2019, he averaged, or his yardage was 3,273 yards. In 14 games. Look at this TD to interception ratio. 41 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. That's his TD to interception ratio in 2019.
Damn.
He was disgusting, averaging 9.2 yards a pass. So he was great. 2020, he only played, 8 games? 8 games. His completion percentage was 70%, which is like, that's like, the top tier quarterbacks in the NFL, that's where they're at, 70%. He had 2,100 yards, all right? 22 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. So not as good, but it was only 8 games. So
Right.
like, let's say he played another 6, he could have had possibly a similar TD interception ratio he had the year before. So it seems like, when you got a very low or very good TD interception ratio, that means you're not making a lot of like dumb throws and stupid mistakes. You throw
I
more
agree.
touchdowns than interceptions because you're making better plays, you're making smarter decisions. And that seems like what he does. And the fact that he runs a 4.4, like a quarterback running a 4.4, it's like that he's a weapon. Like
Facts.
you can't, when you have a quarterback that can throw, but is also that athletic, defenses, they don't know what to do. They're shaking in their knees because it's like, okay, we can play coverage, but if there's nobody open and this dude runs, what do we do? So it's like it makes it harder on the defense when you have a guy like that. The fact that he dropped that far, that obviously Trevor Lawrence is going to get drafted. You already know my feelings about Zach Wilson. I told you this during the draft. I feel like his ceiling, he's going to be a Matthew Stafford. He's going to be good arm talent, but he's never going to be that quarterback because of the organization he's in. I don't see nothing. I don't see him being that great. So it's like, and then, obviously the 49ers get Trey Lance. Now we'll see what happens with Trey Lance. He's in a good situation.
He is
in San Francisco. But it's like, but then Kyle Pitts gets picked by Atlanta, and then we ended up getting him at 11. So it's like, why he dropped, I guess Trey Lance's stock went up and Zach Wilson, literally his stock went through the roof. Because originally people talking about, Justin Fields being the second pick. For a while, it was Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields. They were like 1A and 1B. And then for whatever reason, his stock just started to drop towards the draft. And it's like, well, for whatever reason, there's people talking about, well, he's not that good in his mental ability, and there's also talk about he has epilepsy, I think, as well. Maybe that was a reason. It was a few things that I heard out there. But it's like, I honestly think he's going to be a pretty solid quarterback. Now, solid is going to also be determined by Coach Nagy. He needs to utilize him at the best of his abilities, not what Nagy wants him to do. You need to, hey, this kid has this talent. He has this talent. I'm going to pull all of that out of him and try to get him to play to the best of his abilities and what he's good at. I'm not going to try to force him to do this. That's part of the reason why Mitch didn't work in Chicago, because Nagy wanted him to do this, but Mitch was good at that. That's part of the reason why. But that's also an indictment on Mitch. Mitch just wasn't that talented of a quarterback. So it's like, if him and Nagy can get together and they can work and gel together where Nagy's pulling out the best of Fields, I think we really got something here. I really do.
I agree. And just to piggyback on what you were saying about Nagy, it's like, I understand, Nagy, you want to run certain plays, but like you're saying, you have to tailor your offense towards the strengths of the people that are running your offense. You can't, if I have a speedster running back, I'm not going to be running a power play. Like, I have a speedster running back, I'm probably going to run an outside zone or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So let's just hope he finally understands himself. It's been 4 years now since we had Nagy. I think he needs to take a step in that direction as far as his play calling, which I think he will. I think he'll reevaluate himself, because I know if I was a coach, I wouldn't want to be fired for something that I can control, as far as to learn how to call plays better and utilize my plays better. So I'm going to have faith at this point, just because I had no faith that they were going to pull off a draft like this, and they did it. So now it's like, okay, I have a little bit of faith, because before I had none. Now I just have a little sliver of it. and it'll keep getting better the more moves they pull. But overall, I think we both can say we're excited. Like after this draft.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm very excited. Especially with the top 2 picks. I think we definitely got some studs in those first 2 guys for sure.
Agreed. You want to wrap it up with letting our man Justin Field talk?
Sure. Let's pull it up.
Kind of been interested to see what he's saying in this clip here.
Yeah, so this clip was just I think the reporter was asking him, what message does he have for the Bears fans? And this is what he had to say.
Okay, I haven't heard this one yet.
Chicago's gonna get my all, as a quarterback, as a person, and I'm gonna give my all to the city and to the team. So I'm excited.
So he kept it pretty straight to the point.
He kept it straight to the point. Now, like, I know a lot of fans have been like kind of coming at him for not being so excited when he got picked. But who's going to be excited when you were slated to go number 2? If not number 1, it could have been either or, really. So you going all the way down to number 11th because something you can't control, like epilepsy. I think that's what you were saying, right? And then 2, they were saying that he was lazy. Like, but I feel like they say that about a lot of quarterbacks, and that doesn't end up really hurting their stock. For whatever reason, if he ends up being, like that next elite quarterback, hey, all power to us for letting, we let him fall that low and we got him.
Yeah.
The NFL let him fall that low and we got him. So ultimately, we won't know, though, until the next few years. It could be as early as this year, but, we need consistency, which is what we never got from our previous quarterbacks. We would get a couple good games here and there, maybe one good season out of them, but not consistent. Like Aaron Rodgers, 8 seasons where he's throwing 3,500 to 5,000 yards per season, throwing, 35 touchdowns to 8 interceptions or 5 interceptions, like crazy numbers like that. That's what we're waiting for as fans. And I think you can agree.
Yeah, totally agree. If we get that consistency, that would be great. But I'll send you this video that I saw because, honestly, I heard about the same thing about how he looks so nonchalant and didn't seem like he wanted to be here, he didn't care. I saw a video and I'll send it to you so you can look at it. It's pretty short. It's like 2 minutes. I probably should have put it on the stream, but I was like grabbing other videos and stuff. But I saw it, and it showed him when he got the phone call from Coach Nagy. And it showed Coach Nagy talking to him, and then after his phone call, obviously you see, his family, hugging him and stuff. He hugging all his family and stuff, and it showed him on the phone with somebody. He was like, "Yeah, man, it still hasn't hit me yet. That's why I'm so nonchalant right now. It still hasn't hit me." So that's like when we saw him, he seemed so nonchalant, and that's why, because I guess it hadn't hit him yet that he got drafted. And I'll send you the video. I'll send you.
Yeah, send that to me so I can check that out. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, because I saw that, I'm like, okay, so now I get why he was so nonchalant like that. It makes sense now because it just hadn't hit him yet.
Right. Okay, cool. Yeah, send me that, and then maybe we'll show it for the next show. We'll show it on here. So I think with that, man, we wrapping up the show. It was a nice show. We showed off all the rookies and their talents, or some highlights. Next week we'll see. Will we hear more about potentially what's gonna happen? I want to hear more, honestly, like how many preseason games. So I'm gonna do a little bit of study on that because those are going to be times where we get to see Justin Fields for sure. Maybe like 1 or 2 preseason games, some of the new guys. It's like I miss after they took away preseason games. Like now you miss them. It's like now you want to see them. Like,
right.
I used to hate them, but like let's skip preseason. Like now it's like we miss them. So I'll do the homework and then I'll see what's good with this upcoming show with the preseasons and much more stuff. Like I'm sure we can find more facts about these players. So I'm excited, man. We have a lot of content that can write itself, so that's the good part.
Oh yeah, for sure. You wanna do I think we should do Rookie of the Week.
Rookie of the Week?
Yeah, so out of all the guys, let's just take Fields and Jenkins out of it. Who do you think? Who are you impressed? Whose highlights were you impressed by the most out of all the guys?
Okay, it had to be between. Oh, that's a good question. Okay, so it's between three. It's between Herbert, Newsome, and Graham. Um, I'm more impressed. Dang, it's hard to pick. I'm gonna go with Graham just because we're in need of a cornerback, and like I'm saying, the guy looked like he was always around the ball in his highlights. He was like most of his picks were like him reading the play instead of it like just landing in his hands. Like,
Right.
oh, I got lucky I was here. Like it was him more like, okay, let me jump in the route now and then get the interception. Like he was tripping over himself half the time because he was just waiting for the right moment every time.
Right.
So I was impressed with that. That's who I'll take as my rookie of the week.
I'm gonna go with Khalil Herbert. He looked pretty impressive in his runs and stuff, and I saw a lot of stuff that I liked there. His shiftiness, his ability to see the hole and attack the hole, and have his burst through it. That excites me. How much playing time he'll get, I don't know, but maybe if he gets an opportunity, he can show what he has. But for what I saw, in the highlights, he looked pretty good to me. So that's my pick.
Okay, that's a good pick. Yeah, that's why I was gonna go with him too. But I was like, let me just go defense because we've been highlighting offense, talking about Justin Fields. And so let's wrap it up, I guess, with the shout outs then. Who went first last time? I forgot.
Maybe it was you. I don't know.
Go ahead.
I'll go first. Yeah, so let me shout out my wife, watching my kids. Shout out you, my partner on the stream. I know my brother didn't get a chance to watch this time because I guess he was busy. But shout out him, shout out Eric. And also the guy who commented earlier.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna use. Shout out the guy that commented earlier. So it's starting to seem like we're getting a little bit of buzz, even if they're not watching the entirety. It's everything starts small, and slowly progresses. And then ultimately, shout out my wife, man. She just came back. She took our dog to the groomer, and she was doing that and taking care of the house and stuff. So I appreciate her. And then, obviously I appreciate you, man. You get me motivated to continue doing our show. And hopefully, we keep building this buzz. I know that once obviously the season starts, that's when we're really gonna try to put our efforts in, getting our main core fans, because that's when I feel like we're really gonna get them because the Bears are actually playing.
Right.
So ultimately, then I appreciate you holding us down. Like you staying here. You always looking for new videos, and you pretty much set up the whole show today. So I definitely appreciate that.
Oh yeah, appreciate you, bro, for sure.
And with that, man, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. It's Mike and EJ Sports.